Welcome to the Scarlet N Great podcast. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate all y'all. I want to say thank you really quick to all of you who've been tuning in, who've been subscribing, all the new subscribers, all the people who've been tuning in. God bless you all. I want to say thank you as well to James Yoder and Chat Sports for helping us reach a new audience. I do have a new challenge for you guys on this video. I would love for you to get us to 100 likes on this video and possibly get us to 250 subscribers. If you like what you see, so like the video, and if you like the channel, like the free Buckeye content, we'll do our best to get you the best free Buckeye content that we can. Please subscribe to the channel as well. It helps us immensely. Thank you again for tuning in as always, guys. Also want to send our best wishes from Johnny Bullet, who's not here with us again. This is Florida Cory, as you know, but Johnny Bullet, my partner in crime, living that domesticated life for the moment. He and his family need it for now, a newborn baby. And he wants to tell you that he's doing well. He sends his love and best regards to all of you, and he wants to thank you for all the to all the people who've been with us from the beginning, all the new people that are coming along for the ride. We appreciate everything, guys, as always. And now on to the Buckeye content. Now, I promise you that I want to get that out of the way really quick, but I do want to say thanks, of course. We are, of course, no basketball season. That is over with. That's been over with, thanks to an untimely demise in the March tournament. We're also into spring football. Football's a long ways away, but we do have news on both. So 2 for 1 today. I did a video with Brandon Moses, B Moses, Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses on Facebook. If you want to find him at B Moses 30 on Twitter, if you want to find him there. We did a video about Henry To'o possibly transferring to Ohio State from Tennessee, the linebacker. We are getting word that it's probably a very good likelihood that's going to happen. I'm never going to say done deal in recruiting or transferring, but Johnny's hearing some good things. He related to me, wanted to relay it to all of you. Sounds like a really good deal that's going to happen. Sounds like it's very, very likely. We know we think he's going to be visiting Ohio State pretty soon here. So anyway, guys, so add a great kid. Hopefully, add a great kid. We're great player to the culture, to the locker room, make our defense better next year, and add another leader as well. A guy who has a couple years left on his resume there. So just want to share that with you guys. Just a continuation from the last video, but I do want to dive into something else, which is basketball right now. And I know how much you guys love hearing about basketball at a football school, but I actually do pay attention to the basketball program. I know many of you do as well. And for those who want to hear or talk about it, there was a basketball boom in the transfer. We're talking about a possible transfer with Henry To'o that we think is likely going to happen. This one actually is happening, that we know for sure and has been publicly announced. Jamari Wheeler from Penn State is transferring to Ohio State. And I don't know the reaction. I guess I don't know how the reaction has been from Buckeye Nation. I for myself have decided to sit down and look at it and try to digest it and try to decipher if it's good or bad, how I feel about Ohio, because I've been a little bit critical of Holtmann recently, and I was a little critical, obviously, how the team finished on the season this past season. Even though overall the season was solid, it's just the way it finished was not what we wanted, obviously. And I have to say, overall, I think there's positives and negatives to anything, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives with Wheeler coming to Ohio State. And you don't ever want to say negatives when you have a new kid joining your family, being the Buckeye family. But obviously, there's pros and cons to everything. I'm going to go over them with you right now. As you know, Jamari Wheeler announced his transfer to Ohio State at point guard, and again, I said overall it's a positive win for Ohio State. Okay, he's got 1 year of eligibility, I believe. And let's take a look why this is a positive. First of all, look at Ohio State's situation without Wheeler. It's Michi Johnson and Jimmy Sotos at point guard. Now, Jimmy Sotos was never a guy they were going to count on to carry the offense. He was never a guy who was supposed to carry the team. He's going to add quality depth. He's going to add a few quality minutes per game. But he's not going to be a guy you count on night in, night out to win games for you. Michi Johnson has a nice future ahead of him. We like him a lot, but he's still young. He's still getting the hang of it. He still needs some time in the weight room. He still needs time in training. And he got some quality minutes last year here and there. And he actually made some high quality shots that actually, and from 3-point line especially, that actually kept them in games or even helped seal games at times. But is he a guy you just want to hand the keys to right now? I don't think you're quite ready for that, really, for an 18-year-old to come in who's, I mean, when you say 18-year-old, I know it's all relevant in today's relative in today's basketball landscape because 18 could be if he's LeBron James and he's 18, of course you hand him the keys. But if he's 18 and Michi Johnson, not quite there yet. And that's okay. That's okay. Nobody expected him to be a LeBron James type player or 5-star freak, coming in and be a one and done type of guy. We want to develop him along the way. And I think the best way to do that is to bring in a veteran guard who can carry the load for right now, which, you ring that bell, and here comes Jamari Wheeler running down the hallway. So, you add in senior transfer Jamari Wheeler, and who he has a ton of experience. He's a 2-year starter. He's played since he's a freshman, but he played a lot as a sophomore, 2-year starter, junior, and senior. He has leadership. He adds depth. We talked about the depth already. Leadership. What do I mean by that? As a sophomore, he was named to the quote-unquote juice squad, which is to serve as a role model and a motivator of his teammates as a sophomore. Recognized for his leadership already on the team. So you're asking, okay, great. So he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy. He's a motivator, a leader. Those are key qualities you want in a basketball player, key qualities you want in a point guard and a leader of the team. But what does he bring on the court, Corey? Is it even worth having him here? Or is it? I mean, it's like saying, and I hate to bag on him because he actually played a key role for Ohio State, but like bringing Andrew Dakich, that didn't excite anybody. He played a key role, didn't excite anybody though, but he brought leadership and stability at a point guard position, but you weren't expecting him to go win games for you. Can Jamari Wheeler be that guy? Jamari Wheeler. I keep saying Jameer. I'm a Magic fan down here in Florida. I got Jameer Nelson on the brain when I hear Jamari. Jamari Wheeler. What does he bring to you on the court? Well, first of all, you start with his defense. He's a good defensive player. He was named to the Big Ten All-Defensive Team in both his junior and senior season. And as a junior, he actually led the Big Ten in total steals of 48 and steals per game at 1.5 per game. And he followed up with the senior season with 44 steals this past year. So he adds already a sense of perimeter defense that we just haven't had. He fills passing lanes really well. He's an on-ball defender who's just relentless. We were lacking in that this past year. The offensive game seemed fine. Seemed like we could score, but we struggled at times, especially late in games and late in the half. Struggled to stop people from scoring. It was really inconsistent. Obviously, it hurt us with Oral Roberts, and it's just got to. I am glad to add somebody onto the perimeter who adds to the defensive side of the ball, especially since it was just announced that Musa Jallo is transferring. And we wish Musa the best, obviously. We were psyched when he came to Ohio State. We think he's contributed solid minutes at Ohio State. We wish him the best in his next endeavor. Hate to see him go. I understand this is part of college athletics these days. And we wish him the best again. But that's what Musa was known for, as a perimeter defense. But he didn't have nearly enough an offensive game, and he battled injuries as well to really see too many minutes on the floor. Jamari Wheeler will add that kind of defensive game, maybe even better, while adding a little bit to the offensive floor and adding more leadership to the starting five, because he will start, make no mistake. So but defense doesn't excite people. It doesn't. I mean, you go back to the fictional football movie Draft Day, where he wanted to draft Vontae Mack, and the owner said defense doesn't make a splash with people, and there's truth to that. You don't get a fan excited by saying, "Hey, this guy's a good defensive player." Okay, great. What's he going to score? Is he going to score 40 points a game? No, he's not. Offensively, this is not where the excitement is. I mean, you have to be a pure blood basketball fan to be excited about defense, but this is not what his offense is not what's going to drive ticket sales. He can score. It's not that he can't, but it isn't someone you depend on to be that guy. But to be truthful, we don't really need that. I mean, he did score in double digits in 5 of his last 8 games. I credit that to James Yoder for bringing that up. I went back and looked at it. But on the season, his average went up. It was in the mid-4s, and it ended around 7 points per game, 3.5 assists, 4 rebounds. So jack of all trades, can do kind of all of it, a little bit here and there, and play good defense. So he's a lunch pail utility type point guard. And he averaged about 31 minutes per game, so he can give you quality minutes. And he generally has around a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which, to be honest with you, isn't elite, but it's good. It's solid. His shooting percentage hovered around 40%. That's got to improve. His free throw percentage, 62%. That's got to improve. But I will say his three-point shooting is actually pretty good, 38 and 35% last 2 years respectively, but he doesn't take many of them. So I will say this: at least he's not going to just throw up shots. He's going to be he's calculating in his three-point shooting, it seems. But the good thing about him, if he's not going to be the big scorer for you, which we don't need, again, we got Washington, EJ to be the big scorers off of, is he's a solid ball handler. That he can actually get to the rim a lot like a CJ Walker or Dwayne Washington on occasion. That's a pretty nice spin move actually in the paint. But the good thing I look at this is like what happened late in games last year is, we would play hero ball with Dwayne, and he'd take the point and he'd just hold on to the ball, and sometimes take the worst flipping shot you'd ever seen in your life, because everybody and their brother knew it was coming. And look, I like Dwayne. I think he's a really good player, but you're not LeBron James. You're not Michael Jordan. Maybe that's not the best strategy in the world, but it might have been all with CJ Walker battling so many injuries this past year. It might have been all Holtmann had to work with. Let's be honest. I mean, after CJ Walker, the drop off at point guard was steep, and especially with Soto's getting hurt as well, and Michi not being anywhere near ready. Dwayne had to play the point a lot. You saw the games, you catch the drift. But what I like about this is taking the ball out of Dwayne's hands late in halves, late in games, and then you have two off-the-ball scorers in EJ and Dwayne. It actually could spread the defense out a little bit. A guy with the ball in his hands and Wheeler who can get to the rim and can hit the three-pointer. He can be a threat to do that, but he also leaves your two best scorers off the ball. I actually like that aspect of it. And on top of that, our defense would fail us late in games, late in halves. It would be ridiculous. You got a guy who's a proven leader, a proven motivator, who's a really solid defensive first guy, who can score a little bit, can handle the ball, handle the rock really well, and athletic enough to get by people on top of that. And he can keep your defense on the perimeter stout, where it seemed to fail often, more and more often than not, late in games. I think he can actually quietly add a quality role to Ohio State that we didn't really have this past year, that could actually seal up a couple of problem areas. Is he the end all be all? No, I'm not suggesting, we're Final Four bound now, but what I'm saying is, I think we can see an improvement in the areas where we need to see an improvement with an addition like Jamari Wheeler. But there's also an added bonus to this, and this is a possibility. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. As you know, we need some size. It's been a complaint of Buckeye fans all year, including myself. Zed Key played pretty quality minutes, 6'9" guy, but that was it. Kyle Young, even though he's 6'7", plays like he's 7 foot. Just an absolute effort guy completely, and he'll bang with anybody. When Kyle Young's battling injuries consistently, man, and again, it's because he's giving it his all. E.J. Liddell is tasked with manning up on these 7-footers and being one of our main offensive threats, which really stifles us on both ends of the ball if we're asking him to do both. It's not that it's impossible for him to do both, but his offensive game is obviously a stronger part of the game. So asking him to bang and beat himself up with these 7-footers and then go be our leading scorer is a little difficult. So it would take a lot of pressure off of EJ if we could get some more size in there. Maybe if Diallo developed, I don't know, but it would be nice if he did. I don't know. I'm not counting on that right now. I hope to see a pleasant surprise next year. I don't know if Kyle Young is coming back. I think he's leaning towards it from what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but he wouldn't count against the 13 too if he came back because of the COVID year. But we could still stand to add the size with Young or without Young. So then you talk about recruiting. You talk about Eflin Reed from IMG. Well, maybe it's still a possibility. I don't know. Alabama seems to be in the play for him. I don't know where that's going to go. So Wheeler has a teammate in the transfer portal, former teammate in Penn State, and John Hara. What's special about that? Well, he's 6'9", 240. Decent size. OSU needs size. He's an on and off again starter for Penn State. Averaged 9 points, 9 rebounds, and about 25 minutes per game last year. Neither one of these guys are looking to come in and be the star. They would look to come in and play a key role in what would be a winning team. And a winning team in the sense that they'll win between 22 and 24 games and have a potential deep run in March. The added size alone to bang bodies down low would be so helpful for guys like Kyle Young to stay healthy, be helpful for EJ to keep him fresh, and also helpful to allow Zed to keep developing. Because this guy is John Hara is a guy who's experienced. He'd be coming in his senior year. And you remember that juice squad I talked about with Jamari Wheeler, where he was added to it because of his motivational abilities, his leadership abilities. John Harbaugh was added the exact same year as Jamari Wheeler to that same squad. So you're bringing in two veteran leaders. If in fact we do go for a guy like Harbaugh, I'm saying if. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just saying it's an intriguing thought with Wheeler, his former teammate, being in the portal as well and being in a position of need. It would be interesting to see. And not to mention there is that picture of Holtmann and talking to Harbaugh after the Penn State game. It would just be interesting. And it would be helpful. And again, a guy who's not going to, his numbers aren't going to blow you away, but he could provide solid leadership and solid minutes from down low that we need, and provide some interesting rotational opportunities with 2-6-9 guys. Is he 7 foot? No, you don't need to have 7-footers, but you do need a little bit more size for sure. So that would be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if if say you don't have Wahara in it at all, right? Say that's not a possibility. It might not be. I might be grasping for straws on that one, but it's an interesting thought. But Wheeler adds to an already solid foundation, doesn't he? I mean, there's a solid foundation there next year. I don't know what we'll do with another size, but another piece. Another piece. I was thinking two thoughts at once, and just they're crashing into each other. I don't know if they're going to add a piece with size or not, but Wheeler being a very solid pickup adds to at a position of need. It adds to the foundation of E.J. Liddell, Dwayne Washington, Seth Towns, Justice Suing, maybe Kyle Young if he comes back, with solid contributors as Justin Ahrens, Michi Johnson, Eugene Brown, Zed Key, two freshmen coming in, and Etzler and Branham. I mean, and Brown, Malachi might start. I'm not going to start, but he might play quite a bit. He was pretty solid. He's a pretty good player in high school. Etzler might need some time in the weight room. He's a stretch 4, stretch 5 type, and he probably needs to bulk up a little bit, but he's got a lot of potential as well. That being said, you have a pretty solid team there overall. That has the rotation to go 10 deep, as well as go possibly deep in the tournament next year, barring a crazy fluke. I want to say fluke. I hope it's a fluke upset in the first round. So I think it's an overall positive. Is it earth-shattering, groundbreaking, wow news? No, but it's an overall positive, and I really like the addition of Jamari Wheeler to Ohio State, and I really do actually think it's going to help shore up some of the problems we had last year that really would plague us throughout the year. But anyway, with that, guys, again, I want to reiterate, please, trying for 100 likes on this video, and we're trying for 250 subscribers. Thanks again to all you tuning in. Thanks again to Yoder, and thanks again to Johnny for being so supportive in this time that I'm trying to keep the content coming while he's in his time of need right now. Thank you to all the guys who helped co-host, the Dylan Freemans of the world, the Kieran Shankers, the Brandon Moseses. God bless you for all your help, guys. And as always, tune in for more videos coming your way. Goodbye, God bless, and go Bucks.